Well, going out my back door.
If you remember, back in January, I started some Brassica seedlings, and I wanted to get them to grow up through June, and I didn't really have too good luck with that. And let me show you here what happened and what I'm going to do about it. Okay, I prepared for this by having a germination box. Now this is January, so you need to have 60 or so degrees in there to be able to germinate any seeds. But I had this box and it was going to work out very well, and I should have some plants ready to transplant in a month or so, and everything looked good. I thought the hot weather would not be there when these were just about ready to harvest. Well, so I transplanted these out in the main greenhouse, and they took quite well. They started growing well, and I thought, hey, this is looking good. But it didn't really last that long. Now, these pictures were taken in about April, and as you can see, they're growing really well. And then in June, something started happening that wasn't very good.
Well, earlier this year, I started off a little project of trying to grow a lot of food here, a lot of produce in my greenhouse. And one of the things I was going to try to do was to try to grow broccoli, cauliflower, brassicas, basically. Anyway, that's not working out, and you might understand why that is. In this greenhouse, I can't keep it that cool. But I thought, perhaps it would make it through the summer, and but it's not doing it. Let me show you what's happening here. Now, just for reference here, it is June 12th. June 12th today, and as you can see, there's some cauliflower, but you can see what's happening. They're not forming heads, and same thing here. They're not forming heads, and there's another one. There's another one. Yeah, that's they're surviving fine. They like the environment. I mean, the plant does, but they're just not forming heads. And see, here's another one, cauliflower. See, they're just not forming heads. And I think that's primarily because it is just too hot in here for these kinds of plants. And here's some I planted back here, and you can see what's happening to them. They're just not forming heads, and here's another one here. Okay, so you can see the problem, and there's no point in keeping these any longer because they're not going to form heads. And I don't have anything like cabbage. I think cabbage might work, but anyway, I'm going to tear all of these brassicas out of here, and I'm going to plant something else in here, perhaps beans or something that doesn't mind the heat so much. So that's the story on the brassicas. It didn't work simply because I can't keep the greenhouse cool enough right now. Now, right now it's 85 degrees in here. It's in the middle of the day, and for a lot of plants they like that, but not brassicas. They don't like that at all. That's a little too hot. So lesson learned, and you can see a graphic example here. You need to have, for brassicas, you need to have cooler weather or cooler temperatures. I think 75 degrees, I would guess, is probably the maximum you want to see during the daytime, and then at night 60 or a little lower would be absolutely ideal. So, and we can't do that here, so these are coming out and going into the composter. Okay, there they are, loaded up in the composter, and we'll turn them into compost and plant something else in there. Now, before the sun goes down and we lose the light, I just wanted to show you how well these composted down. See, you can't see well, let's shake this around a little bit. And as you can see, I put other things in here too, but as you can see, it's all dirt now. So composting works pretty well.